What if I told you that for years, you have been fighting the wrong war? You've been fighting for your erections in your bedroom. You've been fighting with pills, with pumps, with injections. You've been fighting against your own body, against your own age, against the frustrating, humiliating silence when desire is met with nothing. But what if the real battle, the one that determines victory or defeat, is not being fought in your penis at all? What if the war for your manhood is being fought, won, or lost in your gut? That bloating you feel after meals, the heartburn you dismiss as normal, the joint pain you blame on arthritis, the brain fog that makes you feel a step behind. These are not separate problems. They are all smoke signals from a raging fire deep inside you. A fire that is not just destroying your digestion, but is systematically burning down the very foundations of your erections. You have been trying to fix a faulty wire in the lamp without realizing the entire house is on fire. You have been focused on the symptom while the disease has been allowed to run rampant, silently destroying you from the inside out. What if the #1 secret to restoring rock-hard, reliable erections has nothing to do with blood flow to your penis and everything to do with stopping a toxic leak from your intestines? And what if you could begin to seal that leak and put out that fire using 3 simple, powerful foods from your kitchen starting today? Hello, my name is Dr. Julian Hayes. I am a 71-year-old board-certified urologist, and for 43 years, I have dedicated my life to one single mission: to help men reclaim the power and vitality they thought was lost to age. I have seen the confusion and despair in the eyes of thousands of men who were doing everything right, yet were still getting worse. And I am here to tell you, it is not your fault. You have been looking in the wrong place. The latest, most groundbreaking medical science is revealing a shocking truth. For the vast majority of men over 60, the root cause of erectile dysfunction is not low hormones, not poor circulation, not psychological stress. The root cause is a condition known as leaky gut syndrome. Today, I am going to pull back the curtain on this hidden epidemic. I will explain in simple terms how a damaged gut lining is the true source of the inflammation that is killing your erections. And most importantly, I am going to give you a simple 3-food prescription, a plan to begin healing your gut, calming the fire, and allowing your body to finally restore the powerful blood flow that is your birthright as a man. Watch this entire video. The information I am about to share is the key that unlocks everything else. It is the secret that the drug companies hope you never, ever discover. To understand why your gut is the key, you first need to understand the magnificent and delicate design of your digestive system. I want you to imagine the lining of your intestines. It is an enormous surface, the size of a tennis court. And this lining is supposed to be a strong, intelligent barrier. Think of it as the most secure border crossing in the world. Its job is to allow tiny, fully digested nutrients, the good guys, to pass through into your bloodstream to nourish your body. At the same time, its job is to keep the bad guys out. The bad guys are undigested food particles, harmful bacteria, and toxic waste products. In a healthy gut, this border is strong. The cells of the intestinal lining are packed tightly together by something called tight junctions. But in a man over 60, after decades of assault from stress, from medications, from alcohol, and most importantly, from certain inflammatory foods, this strong border begins to break down. The tight junctions come apart. The secure border is breached. This is leaky gut syndrome, or in medical terms, increased intestinal permeability. Now, your gut lining has holes in it, and through these holes, the bad guys, undigested food particles, toxins, and bacterial fragments called lipopolysaccharides, or LPS, begin to leak directly into your bloodstream. When your immune system sees these foreign invaders floating around in your blood, it does what it is designed to do. It panics. It launches a massive, full-scale inflammatory attack. This is not a localized fire. This is a systemic fire. It is a fire that rages throughout your entire body, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I had a patient, a 70-year-old retired history professor named Howard. He was a very intelligent man. He ate what he thought was a perfect diet. Whole grains, lots of salads, lean chicken. He avoided red meat and junk food. But he was a wreck. He had terrible joint pain, a skin condition that wouldn't go away, and his erectile function was 0. He told me, "Dr. Hayes, it's a paradox. The healthier I try to eat, the worse I seem to feel. My body is in a constant state of rebellion." Howard didn't have a dozen different problems. He had one problem. He had a severely leaky gut. The healthy whole grains he was eating were full of inflammatory proteins like gluten. The raw vegetables in his salads were hard for his damaged gut to digest. These undigested particles were leaking into his bloodstream, and his immune system was in a state of perpetual war. His joint pain was inflammation in his joints. His skin condition was inflammation in his skin, and his erectile dysfunction was inflammation in the delicate arteries of his penis. This systemic fire, this immune system civil war, is the absolute #1 killer of erections. It does this in 2 devastating ways. First, it directly attacks the fragile lining of your blood vessels, the endothelium. This inflammation makes the endothelium stiff, scarred, and unable to produce the miracle molecule of blood flow, nitric oxide. Without nitric oxide, your arteries cannot relax and open. Your erections are physically impossible. And second, this systemic inflammation puts an enormous burden on your entire body. It diverts all your energy and resources to fighting this internal fire. Your body cannot be in a state of high alert, systemic inflammation, and also be in a state of rest, repair, and arousal. It has to choose, and it will always choose survival over procreation. If you are finding this information valuable, please take a moment to comment the word "yes" below, just so I know you are getting this. Thank you for your valuable time. Now let's continue. Frankly, your body is too busy trying to save your life to give you an erection. This is the secret that is being missed by almost every doctor. They are trying to treat the erectile dysfunction with a pill that artificially forces the blood vessels open for a few hours. They are completely ignoring the raging systemic fire that is causing the problem in the first place. It's like repainting a wall that has dry rot. It might look better for a day, but the underlying structure is still crumbling. I had another patient, a 76-year-old man named Bill. He had been on erectile dysfunction medication for years. He said, "Doc, it used to work like a charm, but now I have to take the highest dose, and even then it's a coin toss. And the side effects are getting worse. The headaches, the stuffy nose, it's barely worth it." Bill's experience is incredibly common. The pills stop working because the underlying disease, the leaky gut and the systemic inflammation, is getting progressively worse. The fire is burning hotter. The arteries are becoming more and more damaged. Eventually, no amount of chemical forcing can overcome the physical reality of a system that has been destroyed by inflammation. You cannot fix your penis until you fix your gut. The battle for your manhood will be won or lost at the border of your intestinal wall. But here is the most wonderful news I can share with you today.
Your body is a miraculous self-healing machine. It wants to be healthy. All you have to do is stop throwing gasoline on the fire and start giving it the raw materials it needs to rebuild the wall. The 3 foods I am about to share with you are the building blocks. They are the fire extinguishers. They are the construction crew that will repair your leaky gut and allow your body to finally heal. It is time to turn your kitchen into a clinic. It is time to reclaim your health from the inside out. Secret number 1, the gut healing super broth. The first and most powerful food for healing a leaky gut is bone broth. I am not talking about the salty, flavored bouillon you buy in a box at the supermarket. That is not real food. I am talking about a rich, gelatinous broth made by slowly simmering the bones of healthy, pasture-raised animals. Why is this so powerful? Because bone broth is the single best source of 2 critical gut-healing compounds, collagen and gelatin. Think of the cells of your intestinal lining. When you have leaky gut, there are gaps between them. Collagen and gelatin act like a biological spackle. They literally provide the raw materials your body needs to patch the holes and rebuild the tight junctions, sealing your gut lining and making it strong again. Bone broth is also incredibly rich in amino acids like glycine and proline, which are powerfully anti-inflammatory. So while the collagen is patching the wall, the glycine is helping to put out the systemic fire. I instructed Howard, the history professor with all the inflammatory symptoms, to do one simple thing. I told him to stop eating his healthy whole grain toast for breakfast and instead to have 1 warm mug of high-quality bone broth every morning. He was skeptical. He said, "You want me to drink soup for breakfast?" I told him to trust me for 2 weeks. He came back to my office a month later. The change was astonishing. The redness in his skin had faded. He said his knees hadn't felt this good in a decade. And he looked at me with a little smile and said, "Doc, there's life in the old boy again, for the first time in years." By simply removing the inflammatory grains and adding the gut-healing broth, he had given his body a chance to heal. The fire was out. The repair crew could finally get to work on his arteries. You can make your own bone broth at home, which is the best option, or you can now buy high-quality, organic, grass-fed bone broth in most health food stores. 1 cup a day. It is the single most powerful step you can take. Secret number 2, the fermented firefighters. Once you have started to patch the holes in your gut lining, you need to bring in the new army. You need to repopulate your gut with trillions of friendly bacteria that will protect the border and fight off the bad guys. These friendly soldiers are called probiotics, and the best way to get them is not from a pill. It is from fermented foods. Foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, and kombucha are teeming with a wide variety of beneficial bacteria. When you eat these foods, you are sending reinforcements to your gut. These good bacteria do several incredible things. They help to fully digest your food, so there are fewer undigested particles to cause problems. They produce anti-inflammatory compounds that help to calm your immune system. And they actually compete with the bad bacteria for space, crowding them out and making it harder for them to gain a foothold. I tell my patients to think of it like gardening. The bone broth is like fixing the soil. The fermented foods are like planting a rich, diverse garden of beautiful flowers, which leaves no room for the weeds to grow. The key is variety. Don't just eat one type of fermented food. Have a forkful of sauerkraut with your lunch, a small glass of kefir in your smoothie, a sip of kombucha in the afternoon. Each different food contains different strains of beneficial bacteria. By rotating them, you are building a strong, diverse, and resilient inner ecosystem. Secret number 3, the prebiotic powerhouse. So, you've patched the wall with bone broth. You've brought in the army of good bacteria with fermented foods. Now you have to feed your new army. You have to give them the food they need to thrive, to multiply, and to do their job of protecting you. The food that your good gut bacteria eat is called prebiotics, and prebiotics are a special type of indigestible fiber. While there are many great sources of prebiotic fiber like onions, garlic, and asparagus, there is one that I find to be particularly powerful and easy to incorporate. and that is a cooked and cooled sweet potato. When you cook a sweet potato and then let it cool completely in the refrigerator, a magical transformation happens. Some of the starches in the potato convert into something called resistant starch. This resistant starch is one of your gut bacteria's absolute favorite foods. When they feast on this resistant starch, they produce a miraculous compound called butyrate. Butyrate is a short-chain fatty acid that is the primary fuel source for the cells of your colon wall. It is literally food for your gut lining. It helps to keep it strong and healthy. Butyrate is also powerfully anti-inflammatory. So, by eating a small portion of a cooked and cooled sweet potato each day, you are not only feeding your friendly army, you are providing the very fuel your gut lining needs to stay sealed and strong. You now have the 3 keys to the kingdom: bone broth to seal the leaks, fermented foods to repopulate your gut with heroes, and prebiotic foods to feed those heroes and keep them strong. This is not a diet. This is a reconstruction project. You are rebuilding your health from the very foundation up. You have made it to the end of this journey of discovery. You have learned a truth so profound it has the power to change everything you thought you knew about your health. You now know that the battle for your erections is not fought in your penis, but in the vast, complex, and magnificent world of your gut. You have unmasked the true villain, leaky gut syndrome, and the fire of systemic inflammation it unleashes upon your body. You understand now that this fire is the root cause of why your blood vessels have become stiff and unresponsive. But you are no longer in the dark. You are armed with a powerful 3-part strategy to heal yourself. You have the secret of bone broth, the biological spackle that will seal the leaks in your intestinal wall. You have the power of fermented foods, the army of friendly bacteria that will reclaim your inner territory. And you have the wisdom of prebiotics, the powerhouse fuel that will keep your army strong and your gut lining nourished. I want you to take a moment and truly let this sink in. Imagine a life free from the constant low-grade suffering of bloating, heartburn, and digestive distress. Imagine a life where the chronic aches and pains in your joints begin to fade away because the fire of inflammation has finally been extinguished. Imagine a life where your mind feels clear, sharp, and focused, free from the debilitating brain fog. And imagine a life where your erections return not because you forced them with a chemical, but because your body has finally healed, because your arteries are no longer inflamed, because your blood can once again flow with the powerful, youthful vigor that is your birthright. This is the promise of healing your gut. You do not just fix one problem, you heal the entire system. You become a new man. Now that you know the 3 foods you need to add to your diet to heal your gut, it is absolutely essential that you learn about the #1 so-called healthy food that is the primary cause of leaky gut in the first time. Millions of men eat this food every single day. I expose this food in my very next video, and you must watch it immediately. But before you go, I want you to make a commitment. In the comments section below, I want you to tell me which of the 3 healing foods are you most excited to add to your diet this week? The bone broth, the sauerkraut, or the sweet potato? Declare it. Write it down. The simple act of making this public commitment will make you accountable to yourself, and it will inspire other men to begin their own journey of healing. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your trust. The power to heal has been inside you all along. Now, go and unlock it.